you'd been in large institutions like JP Morgan, and then you had that time with Grafton, Ken and James, was
Ken and
it?
James.
Where you were, you were spending their kids' inheritance. So were there aspects of that work that you learned in terms of how to pitch well, even within a large organization like Citi? Because presumably, as you said, you had to go with your slide deck. It's not just given that they were going to grow Belfast to 2,000 by the time you left and on to 4,000.
Definitely not. And for me, whenever I get asked, how would you define leadership, or what do you think is one of the key attributes in a great leader? For me, it is somebody who does have a vision for what the future could look like, and beyond that, be able to communicate that vision. Back to what gets you the job. It's not just the bit of paper that says you've done well academically, or that you've the ability to pass a test, but it's about being able to demonstrate those other attributes that are so essential in the workplace, and for leadership, that is about having a vision, and then importantly being able to communicate it, and that's what I've successfully been able to do. Whether or not it is for Grafton in terms of here's the architecture that's going to help you continue to be successful in your particular mission, or within JP Morgan or Citi, or any other subsequent role. Here's the vision of what this place could be. Being able to go up and down the corridors of power in Citi, and talk about what it might look like if we had a whole function sitting in Belfast, as opposed to all these singletons, disparate entities reporting into larger teams around the globe, and be able to let people see what that potential could be, and then importantly communicate what ultimately is everybody's, I always say it, everybody's favorite radio station, WII FM. What's in it for me? And if you're able, as you're putting together an idea for a business, for a product, for a project that you want to do, for what a tech center might be, you've got to be able to explain to the other side, well, what are they going to get out of it? How are they going to be able to reap the benefits? For Ken and James, it's around increasing their shareholder value. For Citi, it's around being able to deliver software better, faster, cheaper. If you're able to articulate what is, then you stand a chance of being successful.
Yeah, that's great. In terms of the makeup of the industry here, it's, as you mentioned, back to those days, maybe in the 90s, where it was BT or nothing. And then now we have a bustling, burgeoning tech sector here. In terms of the people that have come and joined in on that, you've been involved with the likes of Women in Business and Sisters In. You were there at the start of that. IT is often perceived as being a techie, people on laptops with their hoodies in a dark room. How can we dispel that sort of myth, and maybe encourage more women into the sector?
Yeah, so women in technology, it has been a perennial problem in terms of that career attractiveness. And I go back to my own career's advice. Oh, Healy, you're good at maths and physics. You'll do engineering. Yes, sir. That's still all pervasive in terms of careers advice that's been given to our kids. Even today, all these years on, with a successful tech sector here, and it's not just about the tech sector, it's about the life and health sciences, it's about the green economy, it's about the advanced manufacturing that's here. That's not well understood in the wider society around how here really has transformed, and we do have to get better in terms of communicating about the success of our businesses here, and the opportunities that there are for kids. So for technology, the girls are outperforming the boys at school. They're getting the grades to then go on and do the high tariff type courses, and that's what's being put up to them in schools by career services, that says, hey, go off and do medicine, do law, do accountancy. Whereas I'd love it to be, do you know what, go do what you love. And for me at the time, it was about the idea of connecting technology to solving business problems. And I think that if we had a bit more of that for young women as they're coming through the different careers pathways, then we would do better in terms of then diverting that talent into our sector, because it isn't about scruffy boys sitting in darkened rooms with hoodies up, coding away. It is absolutely a team sport, where there are roles for absolutely everybody, from that deep coder type skills through to the interactions with the users, just as I did as I started off my career, as to how the traders were using that software on the trading floor. There's a whole gamut of roles in between. And it is such an exciting, such a dynamic sector that I'd love to see more people, full stop, coming into the sector, and more women in particular.
Yeah.